All the mistakes. You never want to go to shul with this guy because you never finish the services.
Right, so right, the Sefer Torah has to be flawless. You want to be kosher. Wait a second. This is Bamidbar. You gotta go. Another book. Another. We just rolled past the priestly blessing, which Brooke and Justin are going to give Jordan in just a few minutes. Sorry.
Take a breath. Mother's picture with it. Yeah, we can go. Marion.
Almost there.
Sam, go to the picture, Sam.
All right, here we go. Here's Dvarim. Keep going. All right,
Okay, where does she go?
she asked if we wanted.
Yeah. Where is she? Who is that?
And they sent him many gifts, but found out that he was coming with 400 men, and it seems like a very scary situation. And so Jacob was really about to give up and didn't know what to do, and that was the moment that he wrestled with a mysterious man. And this mysterious man gave him the blessing. You are Israel because you struggled with God and you struggled with people who have prevailed. So I have talked about how she has struggled and she's prevailed, and that has brought her to a point of feeling stronger with life. Thank you all very much. There's a parent's prayer, which I'll say on page 9. What I wish for my child, I wish for all of our children. I wish for you to be a person of character, strong but not tough, gentle but not weak. I wish for you to be righteous but not self-righteous, honest but not unforgiving. Wherever you journey, may your steps be firm, and may you walk in just paths and not be afraid. Whenever you speak, may your words be words of wisdom and friendship. May your hands build and your heart preserve what is good and beautiful in our world. May the voices of generations of our people, may the God of our ancestors be your God as well. May you know that there is a people of rich heritage from which you belong. And from that sacred place, you connect with all who dwell on the earth. May the stories of our people be a wonder of our land and the grace of the Lord of the turn to page 10 for the Aleno. Traditionally, it's a time
When you're ready, I'll tell Bo, the photographer. Whenever you're ready, I'll get him. Page 6.
שלך כן, שלי אצלך.
שלך אצלי.
Here, I got it. מצאתי את זה. לא, זה פשוט אני מאמין. בסדר, מביא חורב.
Most precious gift, the eternal source of judgment, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Blessed are land, the stronghold of Shalom, and its advocate among the nations, make contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its home. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name
Yeah, this is not. It'll be an art scroll, or it's after daily chapter. She's gonna start. She's gonna start with that. So yeah, let's just. We're gonna start in just a minute. Yeah. Here we go. Got it.
You got it?
Got it. Okay. Where is Edith? There she is. So everybody gather around. If you'd like a siddur to be able to follow along with us in a couple of spots, we have some here. Again, for those who I haven't met already, my name is Ross, and I'm really, really pleased to be here. I heard so many wonderful things about you and your experience so far from my good friend Jordan, and I can see from everybody's faces and everybody's participation so far that you really are just a wonderful, wonderful group, and it's an honor for me to be here with you. So, you've studied the Ani Ma'amin, okay? Moses Maimonides, one of the greatest Jewish thinkers, and maybe one of the greatest thinkers, period. He influenced all kinds of philosophers. He believe it or not, he influenced Catholic thinkers because he was such a powerful intellectual force. So in one of his books, he came up with what he determined were the 13 fundamental principles. And there are two texts that drew from those 13 principles that Edith studied with Rabbi Yossi, right, in over in Memphis. Am I getting that right? Birmingham. Sorry. Getting confused here. And so she's going to read the Ani Ma'amin, which is one articulation of those 13 principles. Torah. She's going to share Dvar Torah with all of us. And then we're going to conclude. She's going to lead us in another hymn, a song, a beautiful song, also based on the 13 principles. You ready? So we don't have, so the Ani Ma'amin is not in this Siddur. Okay, at least I couldn't find it in this one. It's not in every Siddur, but thank goodness we have one that is there, and Edith is going to read. So this part you can't follow along, but I'll point out pages of the others passages when we get there. Yeah.
אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שהבורא יתברך שמו הוא בורא ומנהיג לכל הבריאים והוא לבדו עשה ועושה ויעשה לכל המעשים. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שהבורא יתברך שמו הוא יחיד ואין יחידות כמוהו בשום פנים, והוא לבדו אלוהינו היה, הווה ויהיה. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שהבורא יתברך שמו אינו גוף ולא ישיגוהו משיגי הגוף ואין לו שום דמיון כלל. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שהבורא יתברך שמו הוא ראשון והוא אחרון. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שהבורא יתברך שמו לא לבדו ראוי להתפלל ואין לזולתו ראוי להתפלל. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שכל דברי נביאים אמת. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שנבואת משה רבנו עליו השלום הייתה אמיתית ושהוא היה אב לנביאים לקודמים לפניו ולבאים אחריו. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שכל התורה המצויה עתה בידינו היא הנתונה למשה רבנו עליו השלום. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שזאת התורה לא תהא מוחלפת ולא תהא תורה אחרת מאת הבורא יתברך שמו. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שהבורא יתברך שמו יודע כל מעשה בני אדם וכל מחשבותם שנאמר היצר יחד ליבם המבין אל כל מעשיהם. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שהבורא יתברך שמו גומל טוב לשומרי מצוותיו ומעניש לעוברי מצוותיו. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח, ואף על פי שיתמהמה עם כל זה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה שתהיה תחיית המתים בעת שיעלה רצון מאת הבורא יתברך שמו ויתעלה זכרו לעד ולנצח נצחים.
Wow. Yasher koach, yasher koach. Beautiful, beautiful job. That is not easy, and you did a beautiful, beautiful job, Edith. So, perhaps all of the fundamentals of Jewish belief can be sort of wrapped up into the Shema. And so, now that we've read Maimonides' distillation, we're going to go back to the original, and we're going to open the Sefer Torah, which I understand you saw, right? A sofer writing a Sefer Torah yesterday at Masada, and Edith is going to read the Shema for us right out of the Sefer Torah. So everybody can gather around also and take a look, and I'll point out where it is in the Sefer Torah. If you want to follow along in the Siddur, you can find the text on page 100, and on page 101 there's a translation, okay? And here, by the way, I think this is something really cool. You know, in the Sefer Torah, it's written with all kinds of little special calligraphy. So if you look here at the Shema, if you look right under my finger, is there a yad over there? There's, I think, a little hand, like a little pointer. There it is. Okay. So because the Sefer Torah is so holy, we want to avoid touching it, the oils in our hands and everything. So we use this yad, which is Hebrew for hand. So if you look here, I'm pointing at this letter. You might notice it's in a bigger font. It's like they put it in a little bigger font there. It's a little bit harder when you have to the sofer do it, and you can't just do it with a click of the mouse. And this other letter here is elongated, so it's an ayin and a daled. Ayin and daled together spell the Hebrew word ed, which means witness. So we're here today witnessing the greatness of the Torah. We're here today to pass on the testimony of the Torah to another generation, with Edith becoming an adult. And so, without any further ado, please, Edith, read to us Shema. Oh, sorry.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Yahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha b'chol nafshecha b'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anachi mitzvah hem hayot. V'avlecha v'shimontam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'beitecha v'vachtecha v'derech v'shivtecha v'v'kumecha v'kshertam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'tetefot bein einecha v'kaftam al mezuzot beitecha v'sharecha.
Beautiful. Yesher koach, yesher koach. Okay, so let's roll the Sefer Torah close now. Thank you. Great. We'll put the cover on. And at this point, Edith, I'm going to turn it over to you to share your Dvar Torah with us.
Paper.
Here we go. Yep. Just a sec. So.
Tender.
Speed up here.
Loud.
Rabbi Singer, Ross, Mom, Dad, cousins, aunts, and uncles, thank you so much for being here with me. Over the last few months, I've been studying for this day. I've learned a lot about the 13 principles of faith. I've also studied the Parsha. In last week's Parsha, Yaakov and Esau grew up. As young children, they were very similar, but as they grew up, they became very different people. Esau was a hunter and Yaakov was a shepherd. Yaakov loved to study Torah. Esau didn't care about learning Torah. Yaakov was a tzaddik, and Esau was a rasha. Later in the Parsha, we learn that after Yaakov and Esau grew up and moved out of their parents' home, Esau is still mad at Yaakov for stealing the firstborn blessing. As the Midrash teaches us, he sends his son to go kill Yaakov. Esau's son goes to Yaakov's house and says to him, "My father sent me to kill you, but I don't want to." Yaakov says, "Why don't you just rob me? Because robbing someone is just like killing them. If you rob me, you can tell Esau that you killed me." Esau's son robs Yaakov and returns to his father. In this week's Parsha, Yaakov is returning to Israel after spending 20 years in Laban's house. He goes with his wives and children. He was going to meet up with Esau and was not sure if he had forgiven him, so he sent a messenger to go see what Esau was up to. The messenger returned and told Yaakov that Esau was marching toward him with 400 generals, and each general was in charge of 400 soldiers. Yaakov knew this meant battle, and he prepared for the battle in 3 different ways. From this we learn the 3 ways you are supposed to prepare for battle. 1. Pray to Hashem. 2. Prepare a gift. Yaakov sent Esau a nice gift, thinking it might make Esau forgive him. 3. Prepare to fight. Yaakov also prepared an escape. He divided his people into 2 camps. If one camp was attacked, the other would have time to escape. After Yaakov and his family were safe on the other side of the river, Yaakov went back across the river because they had forgotten some of their stuff. Suddenly, he was attacked by someone that looked like a man. It was actually Esau's angel. Yaakov and the angel fought all night long. When morning came, the angel saw that the Shekhinah was standing over Yaakov to protect him, and the angel knew he could not defeat him. The angel moved part of Yaakov's thigh out of place so he couldn't walk without a limp. Because of this, we do not eat the Gid Hanasha of any animal. The Gid Hanasha is a part of the thigh. The angel begged Yaakov to let him leave so that he could go sing Hashem's praises. Yaakov said he could go as long as he admitted Yaakov did the right thing by taking his father's blessing. The angel admitted that Yaakov had made the right choice and said Hashem would also give Yaakov a second name, Yisrael. The name Yisrael means you fought against an angel as well as against people and you won. Hashem sent the angel to go fight Yaakov because in heaven, Yaakov's angel and Esav's angel were fighting over which should rule over the other. This teaches us that many things that happen on earth also happen in heaven. When Yaakov and Esav met, Yaakov bowed 7 times to Esav. Esav approached Yaakov and kissed him. Our sages have different opinions on Esav's kiss. Some think that when Yaakov bowed, Esav had pity on him and kissed him. But others think Esav planned to bite Yaakov, since his generals had abandoned him when they saw Yaakov's holy face, and he wanted to avoid battle. When Esav went to bite Yaakov's neck, Hashem performed a miracle, and Yaakov's neck became as hard as marble, giving Esav's teeth a hard time. After the brothers make peace, Esav suggests that they continue traveling together. Yaakov doesn't think it's a good idea for his family to be traveling with wicked Esav. He didn't want to tell this to Yaakov, so Yaakov said, Yaakov said, we move very slowly. You should go ahead of us and go at your own pace. Later in the Parsha, Rachel dies while giving birth to Binyamin. Yaakov buries her there on the side of the road. The end of this Parsha tells us who Esav's people were. They had kings and rulers, would have said, it's not fair. The Jewish people have kings and rulers. If we had kings and rulers too, we would have become a righteous nation and Hashem would have chosen us as his people, not the Jews. It means a lot of me to be with all of you. I can't believe we're in Israel. I also want to thank my siblings. Maddie and Sam, I love you so much. Y'all are the best siblings you could wish for. Mom and Dad, y'all are the best parents you could wish for. I love you.
Beautiful. So I'm going to ask Justin and Brooke to come and give Edith a blessing at this very emotional, special, happy moment. And I just want to introduce what these blessings are about. The Baruch Sheptarani. Okay, Baruch Sheptarani is a blessing said when a son or a daughter becomes bar bat mitzvah. And the idea is, Edith, this is really important for you, that up until you become a bat mitzvah, the primary responsibility for who you are and what you do and your interactions in this world are actually your parents. But they're handing the baton over to you. Now, slowly but surely, this is the moment where you need to think, wow, who am I going to become? What am I going to do? What's my life going to be like? It's now moving into your hands. And so your parents are reciting a blessing to thank God for having brought them to this moment, that they can send you out on your own. And that's the Baruch Shem blessing. The traditional blessing that they're going to give you is the priestly blessing that I noticed as we were rolling the Torah. It went right by us. The blessing that Aaron and his sons and their descendants over the generations have given to all of the Jewish people, that God will look over us, that God will bless us, that God will guide us, that God will elevate us and educate us. Peace. And then Justin also, I think, has some personal blessings to add on to that as well. Okay.
That's right. Ready? Baruch Sheptarani Ma'anshe Shelezat Yivarechecha Adonai V'yishmerecha Ya'er Adonai Panav Elecha V'chunecha Yisa Adonai Panav Elecha V'yasem Lecha Shalom.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And now the translation.
Blessed is God who has exempted me from the responsibility of this one. the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you and treat you graciously. May the Lord lift his face toward you and grant you peace.
Amen. Amen.
Okay. Wrong one.
On your phone?
No, I've got it right. Okay. Those of you who know me at all know that there is almost zero chance I will make it through this without crying. But here goes. We'll see how many paragraphs I can make it through anyway. Edith, it is surreal to me that we are standing here today in this place celebrating. Wow.
Three words. Not even one. We got nowhere to be.
Celebrating your bat mitzvah. I vividly remember standing right over there in the summer of 1989. Holy cow, that's almost 30 years. That's really scary.
Stop telling me I'm 30.
With your Zeta standing next to me and your Granny, who is extremely pregnant with your Aunt Laura at the time, only a few feet away, becoming a bar mitzvah myself. When I lived here, from July of 96 to July of 97, almost every single Shabbat I spent in Jerusalem started. Woo!
I gave it to him at his wedding too.
You're not going to be able to get married. Woo! Okay. Started right over there at the Kotel on Friday nights with Friday night services. After Shabbat, after services, we walked right over there to find a man named Jeff Seidel, who I noticed there's a Siddur over here.
And she actually, Edith read that.
And you actually read out of the Jeff Seidel Siddur, which you didn't realize how crazy that is. But he was a crazy small man who was wonderful. And I'm sure we may meet him on Friday night when we're here, because I bet he's still here after all these years. But anyway, he would set us up with different families who lived in the old city and would allow us into their home for Shabbat meals. This place is extremely special to me. Woo! Whenever I left Jerusalem to go on trips, I loved the bus ride home because the view of the lights of Jerusalem and the walls of the old city would be waiting for us when we got there. As you know, if someone gives me a microphone, I can stand up here for hours and tell stories, but this isn't about me, it's about you. So back to you. When we started talking about your bat mitzvah, we asked you two things. First, we asked you whether you were having your bat mitzvah at 12 or 13. Without any hesitation, you said 12. We were so proud of you for that. When you were a small kid growing up at Chaitat preschool, I remember you loved singing the song, "I'm a Jew and I'm proud and I'll sing it out loud." And you used to sing that in grocery stores and all over the place. And after we got over the shock of having a kid in Alabama singing "I'm a Jew and I'm proud and I'll sing it out loud" in the grocery store called Piggly Wiggly, we loved it. We watched Sam sing it and Maddie sing it, and it was so wonderful to see that. You have steadfastly remained comfortable and proud of being Jewish as you continue to grow up. This quality exhibited itself quite a lot on the softball field while other people are praying, and Mommy's upset. The decision to become a bat mitzvah at 12 meant that you identified yourself with observant Judaism, and that makes us very proud. The second question we asked you was whether you wanted to have a large bat mitzvah with a huge party in Birmingham, or instead wanted to go to Israel. Well, we're here today, so we all know what you chose. We couldn't be more proud of you for making that decision. Again, that decision showed us that the religious significance of becoming a bat mitzvah was more important to you than the ceremony itself. And again, that made us proud of you. I hope this trip is as wonderful as you dreamed about. If not, it's Jordan's fault. Your Hebrew name is Eliana, and that name is very special. It means God has answered me. There could not be a more fitting name for you. You are an incredibly special kid. You have always been a rule-following, kind, sweet, sensitive, smart, thoughtful, caring, and beautiful child. Over the last couple of years, as you've grown, I've noticed several more characteristics about you. In addition to being kind, sweet, sensitive, smart, thoughtful, and caring child, you are becoming strong, confident, determined, hardworking, and driven. Our wish for you today is that you never lose sight of who you are, always live by your core values, keep being you, and always make your own decisions and be yourself. You studied the 13 principles of faith by Maimonides getting ready for this bat mitzvah. I want to finish with 2 quotes from his famous book, Guide for the Perplexed. The first one is this: your purpose should always be to know the whole that was intended to be known. Edith, we hope you never stop reading and learning everything you can get your hands on. Never stop studying and learning and growing as a person. Second, he wrote, truth does not become more true by virtue of the fact that the entire world agrees with it, nor less so even if the whole world disagrees with it. Edith, I hope you always strive to never do or believe anything just because someone else does. Be yourself, make your own decisions, be true to who you are. Your mom and I could not be more proud of the young woman you are becoming, nor could we be more proud to be your parents. With you, Mother.
Yes.
There's more.
So beautiful. We have a lot of Southern Jews here. Yeah? So, believe it or not, I grew up in Texas. And when I moved to kibbutz, they said, oh, Ross, you're from Texas. There's a lot of ranches in Texas, right? I said, yeah. They said, well, kibbutz is basically an Israeli ranch. You guys been to a kibbutz yet?
Yeah.
You okay?
Not living there.
Anyway, so they said, we want to show you the Israeli ranch. So they showed me around the kibbutz. We went to the cow shed. We went to see the fields. And then we went to the Chadar Ochel, to the communal dining hall. And they sat down and they said, Ross, what do you think? I still had my southern drawl. So I said, this is real fine. But you know, back on my ranch in Texas, I get in my car in the morning and I drive all day long my ranch. And the guy sitting next to me says, oh yeah, we used to have a car like that too. So anyway, so Southern Jews can come to Israel, and there's proof of it. So it's really wonderful that you're all here. I want to talk to you about 3 words. L'shana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim. In English, I guess 4 words. Next year in Jerusalem. Shana Haba'a Yerushalayim. Now, but for you, it's this year in Jerusalem. There are 2 times a year in the Siddur when we say L'shana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim. One is at the end of Yom Kippur, after the shofar is blown. At the end of Yom Kippur, we say L'shana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim, and at the end of the Passover Seder, next year in Jerusalem. Jews dreamed about that. They dreamed about doing what you are doing right now, about being here. They dreamed about standing next to these stones and this wall. And there's a story of one Yom Kippur in Lublin, Poland, where the Hasidic Rebbe, the Chozeh in Lublin, one of the Hasidic masters, was crying. And someone asked him, why are you crying? He said, because I prayed L'shana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim, and we say it every year after year. And it's not coming true. And he was despondent. So in the Hasidic courts, they had a badchan, they had like a jester, whose job was to keep things light and to tell jokes. Stand-up comedian. Anyway, Yom Kippur is over, and everyone's never been like this. They're just so upset. Usually Yom Kippur, you feel uplifted, right? Everyone's so upset. So the badchan gets up, and everyone's ready for him to tell a joke. And he points at the Chozeh in Lublin, and he says, it's your fault. And then everyone's like, hush. That's right, I said, it's your fault. It's your fault we're not in Jerusalem. And now everyone's really scared. Every Yom Kippur, you pray L'Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim, and your prayers are so sincere and so heartfelt and so true that God says, okay. It's happening this year. In the coming year, it's going to happen. But it comes around Pesach, and at the end of the Seder, again, you say L'Shana Haba, and it's so true, and it's so sincere, and it's so heartfelt that God says, all right, if you want it that way, next year. And it keeps on going, year after year after year. Okay? But that cycle of wishing and wanting year after year after year, for us, it's true. And I think it's deeply connected to what you prepared and you studied, Edith. What's ani ma'amin? I believe. Why do we say ani ma'amin? We only say ani ma'amin about that the way it looks might not be true. I have faith. I trust. I don't say that I have faith that Jordan is my friend. I never say I have faith because it's obvious. I don't say I have faith that the table is here. What Judaism teaches us, so there's certain things that are a little bit intangible. There's something beyond what we can see, and that we say we have faith. We have faith that it's going to come true. We have faith that the world is going to be redeemed. We have faith that things can get better. And the amazing that it did. And if you look at this wall right here. And if you come over here, come with me.
A little louder, Lenny.
He's got his transitions to the guitar.
Okay, let's see. It's in the Siddur on page, just a minute. I marked it, but then I didn't, but then I let someone take my Siddur. Here we go. It's on page, right after the...
Page 326.
Thank you. Page 326. You ready, Edith?
Yeah. 3, 2, 6.
Okay. Did you learn it with a tune, or are you going to recite it?
Tune and we'll jump in.
Did you learn it with a tune? Yeah. Okay, great. So let's do it. וישתבח מצד יעלת על מציאותו אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו נעלם וגם ניצוב ליחדותו אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף לא נערוך אליו קדושתו קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו הינו אדון עולם לכל נוצר יורה גדולתו ומלכותו שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את תמונתו תורת אמת נתן ליעמואל על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו לא יחל יפאר ולא ימיר דתו לעולמים לזולתו צופה ויודע סתרנו מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו גומר איש חסד כמפעלו נותן הכשרה כרישתו ישלח לקץ ימים משיחנו לפתות מחכה קץ ישועתו מתים לחייהם ברוך חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו מתים יחייהם ברוך חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו ישר כוח סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב יהי לנו יהי לנו יהי לנו עולם ישראל 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 עם ישראל חי עם ישראל חי עם ישראל עם ישראל חי עם ישראל חי עם ישראל חי עם ישראל עם ישראל 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 עם ישראל חי מזל טוב. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks.
Great job. Boss, good job.
Okay.
Lord, thank you. Amazing.
So welcome. What, oh, go! I'm so
Maddie,
glad.
good
What a-
job.
What a kid! What a
Give
family!
it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Lots and lots of good stuff this summer.
It was. Awesome.
Awesome. Awesome sauce.